Hi, welcome back. I know it's been a while. This is going to be just about books. I am going to be doing a full whip parade and stitching videos, but I want to do books as well because that's something I'm really interested in too. So this is books. So if you're not into books, I mean, you wouldn't have clicked on it probably if you weren't. So I'm gonna first go over all the books that I read just very quickly in 2022, my kind of stats for 2022, and then my plans for 2023. So today is January 6th, so I'm a little late to filming this, but bear with me. I have already filmed this once before on my laptop, and it didn't save any of the footage. It like corrupted or something, and I had like half an hour to 40 minutes of filming done, and I was just like, yeah, that was a few days ago that I did that. But I've been watching a lot of just videos, like mostly whip parade videos, and it just really got me inspired to start doing videos again. And I just wanted to start with books. So in 2022, I started using a reading planner, which I got in an Owl Crate. I think I got like 4 months of Owl Crate in 2021, like late 2021. And this particular one did not actually come in the box that it was supposed to. It came a bit later, so I didn't get it until like February 2022. So I didn't start doing it until March. And I ended it in December, but I loved it. I've never used a reading journal before, and it really helped me kind of keep track and like stay on track with my reading goals. My goal for 2022 was to read 50 books, and I surpassed that. I read 56 books, so I'm very proud of my progress there. My goal for 2023 is to read 60 books. So if I read like 5 books a month, I should be able to do that just fine. So first I'm going to just like very quickly go over all the books that I read. I'm not really going to talk about them too much. I'll say if I like them or not. I'll just say like the stars that I gave them, and that's pretty much it. I'm not doing a review on any of them at all. Alright, so the thing I loved about this is in the back there was a place to just put all your books, so they're just all there. There's no flipping around that I have to do, so that was great. Alright, so I will start. I am a part of the Goodreads Choice Awards book club, and they're not doing it this year, but in previous years they've done monthly challenges. So every month there's like 10 prompts, and you just match a book to one of those prompts and you record it. So I was trying to do that. I definitely wasn't doing 10 books a month. I think my best month I read 7 or 8 books in that month. So I was just trying to do like as many as I could, really. I was not adding books. I will not add books to my to be read specifically for prompts like this. I have over 200 books on there, so definitely not adding any just for a challenge. But I tried to whittle away. And I'm not gonna say like what these challenges were because I don't even remember, The first book I read was Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. I read this because of the TV show. I saw the TV show first and then I read it. And I gave that 4 stars. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I gave that 4 stars. Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I gave that 4 stars, although, when you like rate something and in the moment, and then you look back on it like months later and you're like, I didn't like that book. Why did I give that? I don't remember liking that book, so I don't know why I gave it 4 stars. Atonement by Ian McEwan, 4 stars. The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, 5 stars. This is my first book by T.J. Klune, and I'm in love. I have another book by his that I read also in that year, and then there's a book coming out later this year I'm totally gonna get. I actually own both of the books that he has out right now. I think he has more than 2 books, but there are 2 that are kind of in the same vein. And then I'm probably gonna end up buying the new book. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, 2 stars. Mary Poppins Comes Back by P.L. Travers, 3 stars. Wicked by Gregory Maguire, 3 stars. This is the first book in a series, and I decided not to continue that series. But I'd owned the book for a really long time. The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer Armentrout, 4 stars. Again, I'm surprised they gave that 4 stars considering that's the book that made me decide not to continue the series. Because it was just boring, nothing happened. The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows. I gave this 5 stars. Loved it. Midnight in Chernobyl by Adam Higginbotham, 4 stars. Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, 5 stars. This is the beginning of a long road. I read the entire series in 2022. My first book by her I actually read in January of 2021, and that was the Crescent series. I can't remember the name of it right now, but there's only 2 books out right now. So I read the first one. It's an 800-page book, and I read it in like 3 days. So I was already in love with Sarah J. Maas, and then I decided to read. I bought actually the entire series of Court of Thorns and Roses, and then I read the entire series. And I still need to read the second book in that Crescent City series, because I don't own the first one, so I didn't want to buy the second one. I don't like buying series and not having all of them, so I don't try to go down that road too often. Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, 2 stars. Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, 2 stars. The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, 3 stars. Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune, 4 stars. I should have given that 5 stars. I loved it just as much as the other one. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, 1 star. Russian literature, not for me. Divine Comedy by Dante, 1 star. Epic poems, not for me either, really. Lord of the Flies by William Golding, 3 stars, or 2 stars. I can't tell. I think I gave it 2 stars. Axiom's End by Lindsay Ellis, 4 stars. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, 5 stars. The Magicians by Lev Grossman, 4 stars. The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams, 4 stars. To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini, 4 stars. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle, 3 stars. Yellow Wife by Sedeka Johnson, 4 stars. The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket, 5 stars. I've read that entire series before. I just felt like rereading it. Madhouse at the End of the Earth by Julian Sancton, 4 stars. A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, 5 stars. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, 5 stars. Truth of the Divine by Lindsay Ellis, 3 stars. Not as good as the first book. Moving Pictures by Terry Pratchett, 5 stars. The Reptile Room by Lemony Snicket, 5 stars. The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichek, 5 stars. Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, 4 stars. That one's not really a full book, and it just, I think the like consensus of that book is that it's not as good as the other ones. The Rose Code by Kate Quinn, 5 stars. Lore by Alexandra Bracken, 4 stars. Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut, 1 star. Life, the Universe, and Everything by Douglas Adams, 5 stars. The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis, 3 stars. Finally done with that series. Never reading it again. Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, 5 stars. The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner, 3 stars. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, 5 stars. Ninth House by Lee Bardugo, 3 stars. The Paris Library by Jeanette Charles, 5 stars. The Art of Dying by Ambrose Parry, 4 stars. Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, 4 stars. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, 4 stars. The Omen Machine by Terry Goodkind, 4 stars. The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, 4 stars. So Long and Thanks for All the Fish by Douglas Adams, 3 stars. A Column of Fire by Ken Follett, 5 stars. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, 5 stars. Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. 4 stars, A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee, 3 stars, and last but not least, A Spindle Splintered by Alex Harrow, 4 stars. So, 56 books. Quite a few of those in December, the month of December. I pretty much just focused on finishing books that I had started throughout the year and hadn't finished. So I was able to finish like 8 books in December, but most of them were like halfway finished or only had like 100 pages left. So now let's go over my stats for the year. So it has a little section in the back for all your like year-end stats. And I also have some on Goodreads as well, which I'm on my laptop behind you. I do have my little space heater on, so if you can hear that, that's what that is. I do live in Vermont, so it's cold. Alright, so there's a few things that I didn't really do. I didn't like keep track of quotes. I'm not that type of person. I don't care about quotes. Quotes just don't matter to me. So, favorite quotes, not something I try to keep track of. I did in like the beginning of this because it's one of the things in like the mini book reviews, but I don't care. Okay, so my most read genre was fantasy. I think there was like 20 something fantasy books. And then like close second I know was historical fiction. Those are certainly my 2 like top genres. My most read author was Sarah J. Maas. I read 5 books by her because I read the entire Court of Thorns and Roses series. And then my most read format out of like digital, Kindle, Audible, and then physical was physical, but closely followed by Audible. I usually try to do at least 1 or 2 Audible books every month because I can just do them while I'm, you know, doing something else. In digital, I don't read on Kindle too often. I do every once in a while, but not too often. I only read a few. And then these are my top 10 books for 2022. These are not really in any particular order. They're supposed to be, but I wouldn't be able to pick one favorite book. So these are my top 10. House in the Cerulean Sea, Court of Thorns and Roses, Court of Mist and Fury, I'm Glad My Mom Died, The Song of Achilles, The Book Thief, The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, The Rose Code, A Court of Silver Flames, and The Witch's Heart. And then my most disappointing reads, and I have 2 for this, Slaughterhouse 5. I thought I would really like this. I don't know why. I'd heard like some basic reviews of it, so I thought I was gonna like it. And then my second one is Where the Crawdads Sing. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars, but like I was expecting to love this book because of all the hype that it got. It was turned into a movie that I did watch after, and just both of them just kind of just didn't resonate with me. Like I liked them, but I didn't love them. So number of rereads, I only read 2 rereads, and those were both the Series of Unfortunate Events books. And then number of new releases, so these are books that came out in 2022, and that was 2. And those are near the end of the year. So I'm Glad My Mom Died, and then Ordinary Monsters. And I'm hoping to change that this year and read more new books. And then my like distribution of stars. So I gave 3 books 1 star, 4 books 2 stars, 11 books 3 stars, 22 books 4 stars, and then 16 books 5 stars. I'm definitely more liberal with my 4 stars than anything else, and I really have to like a book to give it 5 stars. So that's my stats for this. So this is it for this. This is going away. I'm keeping it somewhere, but you know, it's going away. So then on Goodreads, which I have behind you, is my year-end books for that Goodreads just keeps track of for you. And I found it really useful. I always find the information pretty interesting to look at. So the pages that I read in 2022 was 24,121, which is a lot of pages. And I do believe that is mostly because of the longest book that I read, which is long. So my shortest book was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is 96 pages. And then my longest book was War and Peace, which is 1,392 pages. Both of these I listened to on Audible, so I didn't read for each of them, but you know, I listened to them. And War and Peace was just a slog. I hated it. I honestly, there's so many characters, and they're all Russian, so their names all kind of sound similar. And I just would not know what the hell was going on, like, half the time. And I just, it, like, it gave me, like, PTSD from doing Les Miserables, which I did last year, or 2021. I think I did in 2021, maybe 2020. But, yeah, no, that one was also painful, really painful. So my average length of book was 430 pages. The book that was most shelved by people on Goodreads was The Book Thief, and that is shelved by 4,445,833 people. And then my least shelved is The Art of Dying, which was shelved by 6,965 people. I would totally, if you're a fan of historical fiction, and you like medical stuff, and you like, in like the late 1800s, and you know, you're into like murder mysteries, I would recommend this series to you. So the series is called Raven, Fisher, and Simpson, and those are like the three main characters. Raven is the main character, I would say. And the first book is called The Way of All Flesh, and I just like found that. I kind of stumbled upon it in my local bookstore, and then I liked it, so I read the second book, and then there's one more, I believe. If I can find the name of it. A Corruption of Blood is the third book. And I'm not sure if there's going to be a fourth one or not, but I like them. I'm going to try to finish that third book this year. And then my average rating was 3.8, which makes sense. I normally give, 4 stars, so. And then my highest rated read on Goodreads is A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book, ? Yeah, that's the second book in Court of Thorns and Roses series, and that's probably my favorite one too. Out of that trilogy, I would say that one's my favorite one. The first one would be my favorite one, but I'm not going to spoil anything. But if you know, it's deceptive. The first book is deceptive. So yeah, I would say the second one's probably my favorite. And that one has an average rating of 4.6 on Goodreads. Pretty high. Alright, so that's all for 2022. So let's get into plans for 2023. So I'm going to be doing some of my own personal yearly challenges. And I'm going to be doing 5 challenges. The first is the Pop Sugar reading challenge, which, I can put the link below. I'm not going through all these. There are 50 prompts throughout the year, and I'm not, like I said before, I'm not adding any books to my to be read to fit these prompts. If they fit, they fit. If they don't, they don't. I'm not going to go out of my way, really, for this particular one. I'm going to read what I want this year. That's my goal, is just read what I want. And if they fit a prompt, fantastic. If they don't, who cares? And then the next one is series challenge. So and this is just to focus on series that you have in your to be read, and finish them. So I have 6 series that I put on here. I have a lot more in my to be read, but these are the ones I want to focus on. So the first one is Sword of Truth. I only have 3 more books in that series. I've been reading this series since I was like a freshman or a sophomore in high school. So it's been a while. And I would like to finish it. There are technically more books in the series after these 3, but I'm going to consider those their own series. The Children of Dahara, that's that series. So it's still in the same vein. There's also a spin-off series about Nikki. If you know anything about the series, you know who I'm talking about. So there's technically like 2 more series after this one that I'm going to be reading, but this is the main one, and once it's done, I'll be happy. The next one is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I only have 2 more books in this. The last one that's actually by Douglas Adams, and then the one and another thing, which is by Ian Colfer. And so I'm not sure about that last one. I'm gonna read it, but you know, we'll see. This one, the next one is The Golden Compass. I have not read any of these yet, and I've kind of been like waiting. I've seen the movie. I saw the movie a long time ago. But I know that one doesn't follow the books super well. And I have seen bits and pieces of the first season of the TV show, but I've kind of been holding off on watching that, on fully watching it, until I read the books. So I would like to read them. I own them all. I've just never read them. The next one is Mortal Engines. There's 4 books in the series. I enjoyed the movie pretty well, and I think the idea of the books seems very interesting, so I do really want to get into that. The 5th one is The Magicians series. This is a TV show. I've seen all of the TV show, and it is a fantastic TV show. Does it follow the books perfectly? Absolutely not. I couldn't tell you about the last. I've only read the first book so far. So there's 2 more books, and I want to read those this year, but just telling you off the first book, it does not follow it perfectly, but that's okay. I still love both. And then the 6th one is Shadow and Bone. I just want to read that first like series. I know there's like 2 more. I just want to read this first trilogy. I've seen the TV show, loved it. Like, that's what happens to me. I watch these TV shows and then I'm like, oh my god, I need to read the books now. I'm like, like, I'm now gonna be I also want to read the Witcher series. I've played a little bit of the games, but I love the TV show. And then I also now I got really into The Last Kingdom. So now I need to read that whole series. So it's a thing. It's a whole thing. The next one is A to Z challenge. Just match a book to a letter. Pretty simple. Easy peasy. The next one is new releases. So last year I only read 2 new releases. This year I want to read a lot more. And I currently have 9 books on my list. And the last one I have on here comes out in April. So there's gonna be a lot more added. So the first one I have is Hellbent. That is the 2nd book in the Alex Stern series by Leigh Bardugo. I read the first one last year. Next one is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. Lone Women by Victor Laval. Chain Gang All-Stars by Nana Kwame Aji-Brenya. The Wager, Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder by David Gran. In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune. And then Ascension by Nicholas Binge. So more books are certainly going to get added to that, and who knows how many of these I'll actually end up reading. Try my best. Next one is colorful covers. So just, you know, colors of the rainbow, and just read a certain amount of books for each color. I'm doing the hard version, so that's 3 books for each color. Alright, so now let's get into my January plans. So I am reading, I don't even know how many books. 3, 4, 5, 6 books in January. And then I have 3 books that I'm not really planning on when I'm going to finish them. I'm just kind of All three of them are carryovers from 2022. So I'm just kind of reading them whenever. Not really concerning myself with when I'm going to finish them. So, first one is The Third Kingdom by Terry Goodkind. This is I don't even know what book it is in the series, but I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is the 14th book in the series. And I'm just planning on reading this all month long. That's about how far I am into it right now. I read about 20 pages a day, and I should be done with this by the end of the month. Next one is Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. There are 3 books in this particular volume. Death on the Nile, The ABC Murders, and then 5 Little Pigs. And I will be reading the other 2 as well. And that's about how far I am into it. Again, I'm reading about 20 pages a day, and I should be done with this within 2 weeks. So this one I'm giving myself a month to read, and then all the other ones I'm giving myself about 2 weeks to read them. Next one is House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. I read The Year of the Witching in 2021, I believe, and I really enjoyed that book, so I picked this one up. This one just came out not too long ago, maybe in like October, and I picked it up, and I do plan to read this month. Next one is Mostly Harmless by Douglas Adams. This is the penultimate book in the series. It's the final one by him. The baby. Yeah, shove it on your butthole. It's good. So this is the last one that's actually by him, and then I got one more to go. Not sure how I completely forgot about this book, considering it was sitting right next to me, but I'm also planning on reading The Martian by Andy Weir. And then the other 2, I'm doing audiobooks for those, and the first one is A Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson, and that is a retelling of Dracula from the perspective of the bride, the first bride of Dracula. Hey, baby. And then the second one I'm going to do is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Because I've actually never read that before. I've read Jane Eyre, but I've never done Wuthering Heights. And that's pretty much the last classic that I kind of have on my to be read. This poster, I've talked about it before. I'm not doing it anymore. I stopped doing it a while ago, mainly because it sucks. They're supposed to be scratch off, and I have quite a few of them where it just did not scratch off very well. And I'm like, well, if it looks like crap, then I'm not going to keep doing it. And I don't even like most of the books, so there's no point in continuing doing that. And then the 3 books that I'm just kind of reading whenever. The first one is this big honkin' thing. This is the complete fiction of H.P. Lovecraft. And I am that far into it. This is well over 1,000 pages. It's long. It's very, very long. Very long. I don't plan to finish that this year. I started that, I think, in January of last year. And that's how far I got in it. I'm like 12% into the book, so it's gonna take a while. The second one is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. I started this in like August, I think, and just, I don't know, for some reason just never quite got around to it. I got like a little bit of the way into it. I'm like a third, I think, but so I decided to keep reading it. I bought a copy. I had a library copy before, so I bought a copy because I do own The Handmaid's Tale, so I figured I would get this. And then the other 2, I said there were 3, but there's technically another one that's a carryover, and that is Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. I don't have a copy of that anywhere right now because I had it from the library. And I got a good chunk of the way into that book. I almost finished it. I started it around the same time as The Testaments. I think that month I just kind of like wasn't keeping good track of my reading. I was not sticking to it at all. And then the fourth book is The Romanov Sisters by Helen Rappaport, I think. And I'm doing that on Kindle, and I'm just kind of like reading a chapter here and there. I'm like 25% into it, and I started in December, so I'm pretty good. I'm pretty happy with my progress. Yeah, Helen Rappaport. So it's mostly about the lives of the Romanovs. It's nonfiction, and it's about the lives of the Romanovs. I loved the movie Anastasia when I was younger, and I've seen like documentaries about the Romanovs. There's some historical things. I love history, so there's some historical like things that just absolutely fascinate me. And yeah, so I have a few nonfiction books on my to be read. And so yeah, those are my plans for January. So I am gonna leave this video here. I already have too much. I'm filming this on my phone, and my phone keeps like overheating, so this has been like the third time I've had to. And if the picture keeps getting like worse, it is because my phone is overheating. Which I have a brand new Google Pixel 7. You would think it would be better, but what are you gonna do? Alright, so I'm gonna leave that there. Please let me know what you're reading. I would love to know. Don't give me any recommendations though. I don't need any. I do not need any. But I will see you guys all next time. I'm gonna try to do just a monthly video of books, monthly video of stitching, and just do that. I hope you guys all had a great new year. I hope you guys all have a great January, and I will see you next time. Bye.